Yes,
Cool. Welcome, Andrea, to the podcast. How are you doing?
thanks, Anirudh. It's a pleasure to talk with you as usual. I
Likewise.
like to
Yeah.
talk with you
So,
anytime for anything.
for the audience, this is Mr. Andrea Raffa. He is based out of Milan, Italy, and for 40 long years, he has been owning his own company, which is in pharmaceutical technology. Recently, he also started a new company called Phyllon, which is towards innovative technology, which we will, of course, hear more from himself. So let's start, Andrea. Let's start from you. Share something. Where were you born? How was your childhood? Let's start from there.
Okay, okay. My childhood was I was born in Rome, but I was spending only 3 months in Rome, and then my family was moving to the north of Italy, Milan, because my father was starting to work in Soitra, and so we were following my father, and after that, my brother, and then another brother, and we we were children growing in a nice family where my mother and my father were always in good relation, and so we had a nice youth. And in in my mind, I was always a mechanical engineer because I had in mind to be a mechanical engineer since when I was a children, and I was very clear in my mind. Maybe it's boring. Someone could think that I am a real engineer, but it's not. My wife says always that I am more an architect than an engineer.
Okay. I have seen you working myself, Andrea. You work really passionately when it comes to these machines or whatever the mechanical part. I've seen that. I've seen that. So how was your journey since this 40 years? How
Ah,
how
yes,
how you
this is the part
started?
that I like.
Yeah, tell us.
Okay, as I told you, it was very easy. It was in my mind. So I was thinking only one time and not to leave Soitra because when I was finishing the military service, I was around 24. And immediately I was not, at the time, I did the military. I was not yet an engineer, and it was good to start to work, and I was pushed in the company. And the only time that I was thinking that I would have not worked at Soitra was because we had two partners in the company, and I was very concerned about partners that were not working in the company. So we were asking my brother and my my parents decided to buy the shares. They found an agreement with the partners. One meantime was leaving this world, and so we became our family became owner of the company, my father and my mother, and they gave us a small share to us, and so we started. And 2 days ago, it came so that I am since 40 years in the company. That is the truth.
Yes.
It's a long, long, long time.
It's indeed a long time. Yes. What difference you see, Andrea,
And
when
this
you
is the fact
started?
that I am a wife. Sorry?
I
Yeah.
was saying what difference you see in the industry when you started your career in Soitra and now how you see the industry has evolved, uh, particularly pharmaceutical.
Okay, the world is changed. It's really changed a lot since 40 years. I I still remember that at the beginning it was looking sometimes to be in a sort of alchemist laboratory when I was visiting pharmaceutical industries. I still remember technical directors that were touching the product in the container bowl to touch the product and to feel if it was dry or wet and to feel if it was granulated in the proper way. And this was the way that the world where I was dealing. I had several discussions with people that had no idea about what was a physical process, was just like to prepare a pizza. To prepare the granulation was like preparing a pizza. I put the material and
True, true, true.
but okay, this was not for all companies, but for a lot of companies 40 years ago, it was like this. And then the evolution was great because little by little, it was driven by technology and processes were made in automatic way. So the the step was huge and the
Yeah.
time was long.
I can understand that. Yeah, 40 years, you must have really seen the
Yes.
industry growing and changing technological wise, infrastructure wise. Yeah, I can imagine that. So, as Soitra
Yeah.
represents many brand manufacturers across Italy, so what value do
Yes.
you
Yes.
bring to the customer as Soitra?
Okay. We have some principles uh, since more than the time that I was starting in the company because we are agent for GLAT probably from 1956 or 58, something a long time ago. We had always a wonderful relationship with all the people in the companies, and then in the time we were acquiring a lot of other principles. Now we have maybe more than 30 principles in our company. But the idea that was behind it was always to try to get the principles in Italy. We are agent only for the Italian market, and to try to give the idea of a local supplier because we have to compete against the local suppliers with the local service, with local language. And what we were trying to do was to give the full support. And in a lot of cases, we were dealing directly with customer without the help of our principals. And we were organizing service with Italians. We are dealing always in Italian language with our mentality that is different from mentalities of other countries like Germany, where we have most of principles. But we know the goodness of Germans and the goodness of Italian, and we try to get benefit from both sides.
Very true. Yeah, I can understand that. Now let's come to Phyllon. Let us know what story Phyllon is, how it started, everything.
Okay, Phyllon was a nice idea that was coming by case. I had a friend that was working in Austria, and by RCP, the Research Center for Pharmaceutical Engineering, and they have developed an instrument based on optical coherence tomography, and the idea was to measure the thickness of the coating in tablets. And they are a research center. They are not making business in sales. So this friend was offering us the opportunity to build a company in Austria and to get the license to produce and to sell this instrument. And this was a very nice idea in my mind because with Soitra we can sell products in the Italian market only. And this is great. I like to stay in Italy. I like to travel through Italy, but there's also a limitation because Italy is one market and you never know. Okay, Italy is a very good market. It always looks that we are on the edge of the to fall down, but we are always surviving. It's a great country, whatever you want, but the world is big, and this was really an opportunity to open our eyes towards the full world. And this gave me a great opportunity to know you, Anirudh, that I would have never known if I would have worked only for Soitra. Also thinking, I have three sons, and three sons are working. Two of those sons are working with me in Soitra, and I was also thinking. I'm always thinking about the future, and Phyllon could be a door towards the world. So
A
this is the
perfect
reason why
example
I
of a
was
parent.
so happy to start this. Yes,
Good. And
and this
so
is
I want to know about this particularly OCT,
yes,
which comes
Anirudh.
under Phyllon. So how do you see it as a game changer in the pharmaceutical industry? How it will
Yes,
bring change?
but OCT is an instrument and has a specific target that is coating or in any case where we have a thin layer. And what I think is that this is together with other instruments, a great opportunity for pharmaceutical industry to have the possibility to check really what happens in the process because you know companies are producing millions of tablets and to give the okay to one batch you get a certain number of tablets, few tablets, you make this solution, then you say, okay, the batch is good, statistically it's not relevant. You need to make this solution, it takes time, it's needed laboratory. This is also the reason why when I'm visiting pharmaceutical companies, machines are always standing, they are not working because product is always in an analytical phase and
Yeah.
they cannot produce one batch after the other and full
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
And OCT allows to analyze much bigger numbers than the 6 or 10 tablets that you are making this solution. And if companies are capable to correlate those measurements with this solution, then the idea is to arrive to on-time release of the batch. You could authorities are also thinking to the benefits of technologies like this because they could get deeper control about process and also for pharmaceutical from economical point of view and for quality point of view it will be great to analyze hundreds or thousands of tablets in line quickly without destroying the products and immediately release the batch. This would be great. Maybe we need some more years to arrive to a real batch release, but it will come. It will come the
Yeah, no, for
time.
sure it will
I'm
come.
sure.
Because even US FDA has shown interest in this technology. And with this technology, the pharma industry will
Yes,
save a lot of money as well in the QC release, as well as quality. Maybe there will be less batch-to-batch variation, batch failure. That all can be avoided with this technology. Interesting.
yes.
Yeah,
FDA was interested, and they have invested a lot of money on this project for testing the instrument. So we are confident that in the future this will be an important technology. Also because we have a lot of development on that. For example, we are also now measuring the penetration depth of the light, and we realized that this could be put in correlation with the solution because basically we have an indirect measurement of the compression force, of the density and porosity of the
yeah,
tablets. So this could is something on which we have to work more, but it looks very promising. We will see
very,
in the future more and more applications on that.
very nice. Nice to hear that. And where do you see AI's role, Andrea? Not particularly in Phyllon, but basically in the pharma industry, maybe in manufacturing or packaging. Do you see some AI applications coming up, or what are your views on that?
Um,
Should I repeat them?
a lot of innovation, a lot of innovations are coming, and okay, everybody's talking about artificial intelligence,
Yes.
and okay, I'm too old to understand 100% what is going on, but think that is something extremely powerful. If I think, for example, on our instrument, we are getting images, and we have an algorithm that is measuring the thickness of the coating layer, but with artificial intelligence, most probably we will be capable to analyze deeper the images to understand what is changing from one batch to another one, from one product to another one. We could see a lot of things. If you think, for example, to this method that was invented by a nice lady at RCPE,
Mhm.
Elizabeth Fink, that when you have an uncoated tablet and you run with the OCT, you see only gray.
Okay.
And she was capable to understand that the light was changing and the penetration because the gray values were changing.
Mhm.
And then she was measuring in some way. And with artificial intelligence, you can go deeper and deeper and understand much more also on that. And so the future is great. So about simulation,
Yeah, yeah, very, very true,
you
actually.
can get your products much easier. You can transfer products from one site to another one. You can scale up from laboratory to production in a faster and quicker and better way than in the past because you can make simulations and so you can predict what is coming out. There are future. My sons will enjoy with the future for sure.
Yes.
I,
No, I
I
feel
try to
yes,
say
there is.
I like the screws and screwdriver, but uh, I think they will enjoy with these new opportunities. We will see in the next year what
Yeah,
is
yeah.
going
No,
on.
for sure. I also feel there is a great scope for AI still in pharmaceutical industry, where especially the quality matters so much. The regulations are so strict. So definitely AI will play a big role coming ahead.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure. Regulation is always very and this is
Yeah.
making things slower than in other industries. But other industries are leading changement, and pharmaceutical cannot stay behind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this to improve quality and to obtain always better results because okay, besides that it's a great business and a lot of people says pharmaceutical industries, but I think that if now we are living almost 100 years, it's not because we are better than our past
Ancestors.
grandfather or grandmothers. It's only because pharmaceutical industries and medicine were
Absolutely.
making great steps to improve our life. Then we
Exactly.
have to understand if this is good or not, because we live 100 years, but not always in the best conditions. This, we can discuss a lot, but we have example also in our office. There is a nice engineer that is 85,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's really clever and active in the company.
Oh,
Mr. Faucitano that
very
was
nice to know.
selling us his company. Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
also my mother was is president of the company. She's 90.
Oh,
So
yes.
we are, it's not a young staff. Okay. We also, we also have young people.
Yeah.
Also, we have all generations.
Fantastic. Let's speak about leadership with the old generation now, Andrea. Tell us some leadership experience or lessons you have learned for in your 40 years career.
Okay. Yeah, what? Well, first of all, we have to say that we had my brother and myself because we are managing the company both together. A very nice relation with our father and mother that gave us, I think, very good principles, and this was the way we were leading our company. We were trying always to make uh, clear and clean and honest business. I do not like to talk about honesty, but because it seems always only a word. But this is the way that we were trying the direction we were trying to keep always. And I think that I was also transferring those way of dealing to my sons that are working with us. And in this way, I could always look in the eyes to everybody, and the transparency and the friendships was allowing us to have always a long relationship with suppliers and customers. I told you, for example, with Glatta, we are working in Italy since 1958 or 56 maybe. Obviously, at the time, I was in the dream of my parents. Then I was only a children, but I remember when I was visiting Mr. Glatt in Germany, and he was a great man, and we were meeting together with our father, and we were children, very, very small children. But this was possible only with a very open and clear relationship, and never in discussion this. We have lost really only few principles in the year for different reasons, but only few. We were always increasing the number, but never reducing. And same, we had customer with very long relationship, and also with our employees, it was the same. We have principal employees that are working with us since almost 30 years, yes, 30 years. But we had two or three that went retired after more than 40 years in the company. So we have also towards our employees always a straight and clear relationship that was keeping the people with us.
Yeah.
I think that this explain how we are dealing with everybody in the same way.
Yeah.
We are what we show, not we are never making tricks, hidden tricks.
So true, Andrea. So what I get is when you're starting a business, probably a long-term vision is very necessary. Whatever. It can be a career as well, not only business,
Yes,
but you need to think 10, 20 years ahead. And maybe that will help. So if you have to get those networks, you have to maintain that relationship. Yeah, so true.
yes,
What keeps you
exactly.
motivated, Andrea?
Oh, well, the greatest motivation are my sons, obviously. I have two wonderful sons that are in the company, and I'm so happy that they are in the company to work with me. And I'm so happy that there is a third one that maybe will become ready in a few years after university. And this gives me a great motivation. I'm not thinking that I will be alive and in the company for a long, long time. I would like to reduce as much as possible in the next years and to leave them alone to grow more the company or the companies, not the company,
Yeah,
the two companies.
yeah,
And they look very motivated. I'm really very happy about them. I think it's very difficult to have other motivation. Money are coming and are going, so are flowing. Let me say, but yeah, the sons are the future,
I
our
get your
future, and
point.
the company
Yeah.
future.
Then if Andrea, if
And then you can say that the motivations could be many other, but
yeah,
this is not this is a really motivation
I
for
get
me.
your point absolutely. Yeah. If there was one thing in the pharmaceutical landscape that you could change, what would that be?
Uh, after 40 years, I have seen a lot of cases. And unfortunately, I have to say that the pharmaceutical world is not different than the rest of the world. There are good things and bad things. The dream is always that the behavior of the people should be always clear and transparent. This really a dream, but it's not a dream for pharmaceutical, it's a dream for everything. And this never happens. Never, not never happens. It happens, but not always. And when something strange is happening, then I'm very disappointed, and I would say, "Oh, this is the world." We do a lot. We can. The only thing that we can do is trying to keep the line, our line, and never changing, and hopefully someone else will follow us, but some other will follow others.
Yes, yes. Absolutely. There we meet all kinds of people, yeah. and
Yes, yes,
we cannot
yes.
be choosy. Yes, yeah, as you said. Yeah.
Yes, and this okay, this is there are also a lot of goodness and a lot of
Yes,
bad,
absolutely.
yes. Uh, this is based on human behavior and not related to pharmaceutical.
Yeah, yeah,
For pharmaceutical itself, um, sometimes what is missing is little bit of professionalism, but this is always related to behavior of people. There are huge and great professionists that are trying always to understand. Also, when we are talking about our equipment, we understand that someone is really interested on what we try to explain, and others are not interested at all. Basically, they are only looking at the final price of the quotation and oh, too expensive or it's fine. And this, I have to say that it's a little bit different with Phyllon. This happens more with Stoic because we are selling products that are almost not standard, but yes, products that you can find in the market, and it's very difficult to explain which are the advantages of our equipment. But for Phyllon, it's something different because this is a unique technology, and so the people is listening to you. If they are not interested, they do not talk with you at all.
yeah.
And if there is a little bit of interest, you see that they are listening, they try to understand if it could be an advantage or not. And, this makes me very happy.
So coming to the closing thoughts, Andrea. So what advice will you give to the young chaps who will start their career maybe in pharmaceutical area? What advice would you like to give?
Unfortunately, I have to tell them that they have to study. They do not like to study. Okay, they were making university, yes, but they, they were always they had always difficulties to think they have to study. I was asking to study more, and oh no, we like to. And but you have always to learn. And I remember there was a professor at the at the Lyceum, and he was a great professor, Professor Odone was the name, and he could tell the poem Divina Commedia is an Italian poem from Dante Alighieri, and he could mention the complete poem, that is three books like this. Uh, only he was recording in his mind, and he knew perfectly all passages, but he put the heart. He was reading everything. He could speak in Latin, in all the Latin, and he was telling us when you become around 60, you understand that you do not know anything. You try to learn, and he was really studying a lot, not like me, not like my sons. And he said, I have understood that I know only a very little portion of the knowledge that I could get. And this is our problem. And now we have also a second brains that is our PC, or that is sometimes is storing data for us. But you need to learn a lot, to understand everything, not only to learn by memory, but you have to understand the mechanism. And when you know the mechanism, you can solve a lot of problems. And this is valid for everything. And I would like that they are not only learning, but they start to understand the processes in a way that finally they will be able to change things, not only to say, okay, it's done in this way, full stop. And a lot of people is only thinking that, okay, I know it's done in this way, full stop. If there is a deviation, it's wrong, no way to repair, to adjust, to understand what was going wrong. This
Yeah.
this
So
is what I
the
would suggest.
learning doesn't stop after university. It actually begins after university. So it has to be a continuous learning. Yeah.
You
So
never stop to learn,
yeah.
never stop to learn, and but
And
to learn with using your brain, using the intelligence, your brain,
yes.
not
And
only to
as your
learn
yeah,
like
as,
like a recording.
no, and as your that professor said, the more you gain knowledge, the less you know. That is what you realize. So true.
Yes, you can study a lot, and then I finally, oh, I know that I do not know a lot of things, and I'm still, if I could go back, unfortunately, it was not the case because my father had Parkinson disease, and when we started in the company, we had to start quickly because my father was not feeling. In position to last for a long time. uh, if I could, I would go back to a pharmaceutical company to make a direct experience in a pharmaceutical company for starting again in Soitra. Unfortunately, my sons, it was the idea also for our sons, my son, but they started in the company in the COVID time, exactly in 2020. And so there was no way.
Yes, good. It was very nice speaking with you, Andrea.
Sorry.
Thank you for your time and see you
Thanks,
soon.
Ani.
Thank you.
See you soon. Best regards to everybody.
Bye.